As we come to the end of this decade, we look back at the progress we have made as Africans, the missed opportunities, the challenges, and the emerging themes. We entered this decade with so much optimism as Africa took giant steps forward. We moved from military rule to democracy in most countries. We've seen an economic boost to resource-rich nations and rapid uptake in mobile technology. The stargazers amongst us dreamt that Africa would put a man on the moon. And then the financial crisis hit, sending shockwaves through the world economy. And now in this new decade, we grapple with the devastating effects of the coronavirus. Schools are closed, businesses have folded, and we grow isolated in our homes. How do we breathe safely again? How do we move forward? How do we build a better world? The future is in Africa's hands.
Most of us that grew up on the continent, we've experienced a lot of changes in Africa in the last 30, 40 years. From being the dark continent, the one that fueled hope in the last decade. From being a continent where we could barely watch anything on news without seeing something negative about Africa, to one where we're now seeing loads of good news, from innovations in technology and from a lot of great human capital being unlocked. Africa truly has a lot of potential. Our biggest resources are people, our human capital. 1.2 billion people on the continent. 1 people with an average age of 18. We are young, we are growing, we are exposed. Technology is opening up an amazing opportunity for us to catch up with the whole world. So for me, the human talent represents the biggest source. You cannot imagine of that 1.2 billion people, over 200 million people are illiterate.
By 2050, the population of sub-Saharan Africa will double, adding 1 billion people to our planet, and Africa will have the majority of the world's labor force. At Diatom, we believe that these additional 1 billion people are our greatest assets, but we need to adequately educate them, tool them, and support them. Now is the time to double down on our collective efforts in education, entrepreneurship, gender equality, health, and quality of life. For us to rewrite the social and economic trajectory of Africans and Africa, we must come together and dedicate ourselves to equity, community, and innovation. This is a joint effort. No one person, organization, or government can do this alone. We must rebuild the village. VEAM is our 10-year vision for the future of Africa. The village ecosystem approach and mindset is a systems-level approach to the development challenges we face today. We take joint action with community leaders and global agencies committed to changing the narrative and practice of development in Africa. We work across 5 key areas in education, entrepreneurship, health, gender equality, and quality of life. We're very, very passionate about making sure that we build up education infrastructure in Nigeria. And one of the things we do is we adopt a school, we provide scholarships to students who would normally be able to afford this type of education. We also make donations to build up the infrastructure of the schools. We know that education is one of the quickest, most important ways to make sure that we build our nation for a better future. It's very important that the kids that we sponsor, that we support, are not only academic scholars, but they're also well-rounded.
When I was starting, our ethical pillars was culture, character, and confidence. So that was my thought process in setting up CKA. I wanted a school that was very into Nigerian culture. So one of my thoughts when I was setting up CKA was also to give children who under normal circumstances will not have the opportunity to be educated in a school such as City of Knowledge Academy. And that is where I solicit scholarship from my friends, from organizations that have like minds. So I had a chat with Dr. Akindele, who is the chairman of Platform Capital and the sponsors of Diatom Impact. So when I was talking to Dr. Akindele, he says, look, we buy into your vision. One of the things that we do, we also develop people, and we would give you scholarship for 10 students for the duration of their education, and will also provide them with avenues for internship. He promised that he will build us a standard swimming pool as well as a multi-purpose sport hall.
Over 200 million people are illiterate, and we're driving this African Literacy Program opportunity, which is basically to enable those people that cannot read for any reason to be able to read, communicate, and start creating value. We are really excited about this. We are supporting it all the way, starting with the Sierra Leone program, where we are partnering with the city of Freetown. We are also doing something in Kwara State, Nigeria. We want to touch as many cities as possible for the next 10 years. We want to dent that 200 million people, first slow down the rate of literacy, then dent that number to less than 10% in 10 years. And it's not something we can do alone.
Platform Capital is a growth markets focused, sector agnostic investment and advisory firm. Our investment strategy looks at us investing across all stages of a business. So we're able to work with entrepreneurs all the way from ideation, all the way to their growth and maturity stages. This is interesting because no two entrepreneurs are the same. We're able to support to help them develop business ideas, to help them business plan, to develop their strategy. This always creates very, very interesting and dynamic challenges, and it allows you to go into new business areas that are, in some instances uncharted or other investors will not be able to look at. We focus also on supporting women entrepreneurs. We are looking to reduce that gender bias towards investments. Statistics by the World Bank say that over 70% of women in emerging markets are not able to get access to finance. We want to be involved in changing that narrative. So we don't just invest, we partner.
One Community is a lot more than just an organization that gives money out. Our focus is to make sure that you succeed, and that process of giving money out is just a means to that end. So what else can you get from this? Business support. It provides you the opportunity to develop the deep competencies that you need to thrive and to grow your business. Beyond this, you also get the opportunity to build your professional network very quickly. You have access to larger loan amounts. And so working with One Community allows you to build a credit history that can become a source, or at least it will position you to be able to access financing from large commercial banks and even from the government in the future. Whilst One Community itself has a limit, our parent company, the platform, is able to and has a track record of investing literally billions of naira in a variety of businesses, and even helping organizations to raise millions of dollars in capital, both from the debt market as well as in equity investments.
Bookingsafrica.com is a web app which allows millions of clients from all over the world book, search, compare for reliable talent at the tap of a button. So if you need a beauty makeup artist, a nail technician, a hairstylist, a model, a photographer, videographer, voiceover artist, these are the sort of talent that you can currently book on our platform. So right now we are in Nigeria, South Africa and Kenya, with plans to expand a lot further. Since Platform Capital invested in Bookings Africa, it's been beyond the money. They've provided finance team, they've provided legal, they've provided HR, they've provided a strategy director. And apart from that, the network that they have is so expansive. I've been a speaker at the South African Innovation Summit. I've been pitching in Silicon Valley. They introduced me to one of their partners who's based in Mexico, who actually wants to go into a joint venture with Bookings Africa.
Platform Capital is an investor in Clinical, so that stays that way. The cultural sensitivities that you would have in the US or that you have in Western Europe is clearly not the same that you have in Africa or that you will have in Latin America. And I see Platform Capital as being a key part of all of that. So I'm very excited about that.
Electa is a non-partisan end-to-end women's political advancement organization bridging inequality gaps in Nigerian politics.
We are addressing the underrepresentation of women in elective office using our 4E approach.
Through our engaged strategy, we are challenging prevailing stereotypes and shaping the right discussions by engaging women themselves and our political stakeholders.
We've launched a national recruitment platform to encourage women to decide to run. This is to ensure that the number of women who decide to run for elective office in Nigeria significantly increases.
Through Electa Academy, we're building the skills and knowledge of women that have decided to run for office.
Finally, through our Enable strategy, we're going to provide women with access to human, social, and financial capital to ensure that they have increased access to a pool of resources that will enable them decide, run, and win their elections.
So, Platform Capital Group through Diatom Impact have been so instrumental to our journey and our growth as an organization. This journey